recording. Yes, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim. This is Janell. This is Gabby. Together we put together a presentation regarding the Wellness Center. Before I get into that, how many of you guys have heard of that Meeting of the Minds conference that just happened over here in Anaheim? Well, if you ever get a chance to go to it, or ever you hear about it, it's awesome. In that it has about 1,500 mental health professionals from Orange County there, and there was tons and tons of job opportunities there where they were looking for people to work in the mental health field. One of the booths, though, that I really loved was the hoarding booth, and I got one of the pins. It says hoarding on it. It didn't work, but I kept it anyway. I might need it sometime. Anyway, it kind of shows, though, with hoarding, one of the mental illnesses where isolation really takes a big part of it. Because hoarders don't want people to see their houses, and they really isolated that little castle. And working at the Wellness Center, I worked there for 3 years, and I really didn't understand. I kind of knew what we were doing, helping people with mental health issues and transition, but I really didn't get it until I started working at the Homeless Center, MHA. And the isolation they told me themselves that isolation was one of the biggest things that really sparked their mental illness. And because of that, many of them ended up homeless. And that's one of the things that the Wellness Center is trying to address is stigma. But first, before we go into that, just setting the stage a little bit. Basically, 1 out of 5 adults in the U.S. will experience a mental illness. It would be diagnosable if they decided to seek treatment. But one of the problems is that there's a lot of stigma against mental health. I mean, if you ever watch a movie or a TV show, crazy person who does the bad things. So they don't always seek treatment. The highest rates are often found in the lowest socioeconomic status, kind of like what I have experienced with the homeless people here in Orange County. And basically, the Wellness Center has been designed and paid for by Prop 63 monies. That's the Mental Health Services Act. They administer the money down to the Orange County supervisors, and Orange County supervisors, along with a steering committee, created the Wellness Center to help eliminate stigma and help people get treatment as well, sort of treatment, and that it helps them with their socialization skills, and also just get rid of that isolation, give them a place to go and a place to learn. So to get into the Wellness Center, basically all you have to do is 18 years old, live here in Orange County, have a mental health diagnosis, and one nice thing is it's also open to family members as well, because they kind of suffer right along with the people that have the mental illness. So, as I said, we have training support to reduce stigma and reduce isolation, and that training support is a bunch of different classes that they offer every day. Mind, body, spirit, and education is what we offer there. Referrals, basically if you get referred in, you don't even have to show that you have a diagnosis. We just ask the question, and you can begin attending that day. You have a tour and a little form to fill out. Basically, you can start right that day. We're here in Orange County on 1910 Bush Street in Santa Ana. And why, again, as I mentioned, it's a very prevalent disorder in the mental health. And as we said here, 70% out of 1,300 in the survey felt that they had problems. And how we do it is, how we treat, so to speak, is we offer, like I said, a variety of classes throughout the day, and also social outings too. So we take people to the Gabby Center and stuff, experiencing things that they normally wouldn't do. Being isolated here in Orange County, very rarely would they go up to Malibu or the other Gabby Center. Again, here's a graphic illustration of the mental health, and we've broken it down by gender and also by race, and then also the levels of mental illness and where they're getting their treatment. As you can see, outpatient programs get a lot of work. Prescription medicine is a big function, though, of how people get their treatment. Go ahead, change it. Thank you. And that's even more example here. Out of all the people that need to get treatment, 58% actually do so. And then they broke it down by age. The older you get, I guess you say, oh, heck with it, I need help. So, when you're young, you think you're indestructible and it'll pass. But one of the interesting things about this statistic is that prescription medication seems to be one of the main treatments, and that's where the Wellness Center comes in and offers a really great alternative to just pop a couple pills and trying to get better. It's a very holistic treatment plan. I'm going to hand this over to Gabby.
Program inputs. Staff and volunteers facilitate up to 14 different classes daily. The supervisors meet with the staff on a weekly basis. Staff meetings are conducted once a week. Classes cover emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental health. My favorite one was the laughing yogi. I like that one. Classes are about 50 minutes long, and they're led by a staff member or a volunteer. Members are 18 years of age who are diagnosed with a mental health illness. Their families are also able to join, which is good because who else better to support you than your family. And we're located at 1910 Northwest Street in Santa Ana. How many people will be served? We serve 800 individuals over the age of 18 with a mental health diagnosis from Orange County, participate on a monthly basis. We expect 80% to show improvement. How do we measure the presenting problem? Is by the Beck Depression Inventory. You guys got handouts on those, and a little brief description about what the tests do. The Zung self-rating anxiety scale, and the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. And we also measure by classroom attendance. How do we measure outcomes? By pre and post tests on self-exam on depression and anxiety. Measurement instruments. Pre and post tests for anxiety, depression, and self-esteem. We use, again, the Beckman Depression Inventory, the Zung self-rating scale, the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. And tests will be, we administer the tests upon entry and re-administered annually or upon exit of the program. Program attendance is measured monthly. Attendance will increase as time progresses. Increased attendance indicates improved socialization.
Okay, and so for our data analysis, we want to go ahead and we want to track the outcomes based on the pre and the post tests that were given. We want to analyze the increase in self-esteem, that's our main goal, a decrease in depression and a decrease in anxiety, because that's something that is very influential with individuals that are diagnosed with mental health and illness. Socialization skills are also very important to identify, which is why the classroom attendance is something that we're looking at, because if they're willing to attend, they're consistent with their attendance, and they can also take that accountability into their real world, that will really affect what they're doing on a daily basis. Our evaluation design, we chose to do a non-experimental single group design. Data will be collected annually or upon exit. There are no separate control groups that are being used, and all active members will be participating. The validity threats are selection, history, maturation, and attrition. Selection, as you all know, as we've learned, is based on the people who are willing to actually participate. That can be a validity threat because some people may be more willing to be active in the tests, where others might have their own things that are going on and they're not willing to show up, or they don't want to be as emotionally involved as others. The history is what's going on outside. If our economy is at a downfall and part of this process is to get them socialized, are they able to go out there and find jobs? If the economy is down, they may not be able to find jobs because the economy is down, and they can't find them based on that. So that may deter the actual test scores. Maturation, based on the maturity, if someone comes in at 18, a year span of time, that could give them a maturity level based on their outside experiences that could affect their test scores as well. And attrition, are they showing up? Are they coming? Are they accountable? So those are some different things that we noted as validity threats. Some hypothetical findings, which you would love, is we're hoping for an 80% increase in their self-esteem and a decrease in their depression and their anxiety, which is kind of what we try to show on this graph here, where the self-esteem was at a very low level, which is very common with those who are diagnosed with mental illnesses, and those depression and anxiety were very high. So we're hoping for kind of a scale that shows that clearly there. And recommendations, some of the things that we went over were for the evaluation. We thought that if we did this annually, that missed some points. We needed to perhaps make the evaluation be mid-year, so every 6 months we could do an evaluation. Comparing the result to another program, unfortunately there's nothing else like the Wellness Center. It's the only program in Orange County, and actually in California, that provides a treatment that it does. So we were hoping to kind of, create a partnership with somewhere else to provide that comparison. Also, we were looking at the time analysis. We learned about the time analysis process that could create something over a span of time, over 1 to 5 years versus just 6 months or 1 year. So taking all of the research that we found over a longer period of time. That was the evaluation improvements. The program improvements were to increase the outreach to Orange County, to expand the awareness of what the need was, and to also reduce the stigma of mental illness. Diabetes is 4% of our diagnosed illnesses, and mental illness is 4% as well. How often do we hear about diabetes and treatment and awareness? So when we're getting into mental illness, it partners right with it. So we need to, kind of incorporate that a little bit more. And we want to partner with the community, with employment, with health, with healthcare, with education, with housing, with all those different aspects, because these individuals are coming in with no awareness of that. We want to expand the program variety, different classes that are offered, and then also, again, like I had stated, the Wellness Center to be implemented into other regions of California. So it's broader and more people have opportunity to see it. So I think that's us, and if you guys have any questions, we would love to hear them. And thank you very much.